Let's get it. It is an absolutely gorgeous day here in the Carolinas, and I'm so glad to see it. It is a cool, quite chilly, rainy fall day, and I dare not complain. Because as I think back, on the way over here I was thinking, this has always been the time of the year that I was in my best shape coming out of high school, because of the training we had in baseball. Right around this time we would be balling hard, trying to make the playoffs. But I say all praises to the Most High for another opportunity to be amongst the living, in the land of the living. Because as they used to preach in the church, a lot of people ain't make it to see the day, and that's true. And just like myself, 5 years ago this summer, I woke up without the use of my limbs. Matter of fact, I couldn't even talk, walk, and then I didn't have consciousness. I could have been dead. That's a nice picture. I love the color that's out on these leaves. But yeah, what I'm trying to motivate in us today is to have an attitude of gratitude in this really 4th day of combating distractions, and what we're calling this week distraction training, pardon me. And I'm a little distracted. I see more folks out normally than I usually would on a cold, rainy day. And this park is somewhat like in the woods. What I would say, yeah, in the woods, in a very wooded area. And I pay attention to my surroundings, which that's what distractions are. They're in your surroundings, but you have to keep them within arm's length. Like I was saying on the recording a few days ago about a ball player. His name wasn't George, it was Henry. It's Henry. And see, George, I'm sure I brought him up because he's the one that preceded Henry. So I'm sure he was the one training Henry. Yes, indeed. And he's the fellow that I said played for the Tennessee Titans. And see, this fella is gonna work himself into the Hall of Fame by this particular move, what we could call a tool that he uses. And it's called the famous Heisman stiff arm. It's where the Heisman, I believe he was an actual player. He was so good that he used to run the ball and he was stiff arm people. That means to put out the hand. Put out the hand. No, back off. No, back off. Left or right. And what Henry does, he'll put out the stiff arm and use their momentum to push him. I mean, he'll put out their arm, he's already going in that direction. And when they come, he'll take their momentum, use it for himself, and push them back within that same move. Oh boy, what a powerful thought. And see, that's what we have to do. We have to take the enemy's momentum and use it against them. And like I was saying about the Heisman, that award goes to the college player, the best college player out there. Well, I know Division I is. But anyway, we was contemplating this thought this morning. And like I said, I studied to show myself approved. So before I went off to sleep last evening, I had studied and had a great thought all lined up, I thought. Which it is, it still is. But what the Most High did, He gave me another thought, or a main thought this morning. So what I thought was my main thought last night, or idea last night for this thought for today, was pretty much going to be my secondary thought. Because the thought He gave me today took precedence over the first idea. And really it lends itself to it perfectly. And see, we know the Most High is perfect in all His ways. All He needs us to do is line up with Him. And we'll start becoming perfect in all our ways. On the most part. Oh boy. And what I'm going to call today's thought is Distraction Training 3. Hold on to your peace. Hold on to your peace, or shalom. And we should say how to hold on to your peace and shalom. Distraction Training 3. How to hold on to your peace or your shalom. And the answer is quite simple. Pardon me. Stop complaining. Oh boy. Stop complaining. It's simple. Now I'm gonna just read over my notes today. But I'm gonna give this idea some background. The reason the Most High switched up this idea, and you will see it as we go along, is because how I felt when I woke up this morning. Oh boy. And I say when I woke up this morning, but I laid down feeling like a wet rag, if that's the right way to say it. I was so sore after getting out yesterday and getting back to work. Pardon me. The first job I've done physically since before I had that stroke. Well, right before I had the stroke, because I was working a physical job at that time. But I got the sand worked out of me yesterday. Oh boy. I mean, I worked hard yesterday. However, it's no complaining. Like I told my wife, I thank the Most High for the feeling of being sore again, for the feeling of getting out there and getting it in. And I could go into some details of the job of how distractions try to raise its ugly head again. But I won't. It's irrelevant. We're going to keep moving on with this thought. See, the main idea today is how to hold your peace or your shalom. And in order to hold your shalom, you must not complain. Okay, let's read these notes. In order to keep the shalom Yahusha said he was leaving and giving us, we must first take it. I personally believe that Shalom is the Ruach HaKodesh. And if I'm wrong, I believe only partially. The way I look at it, and I have done a recording about it, as we cannot make it without the Ruach HaKodesh, especially in these final days. As I said, we must receive the Ruach, the Shalom. However, let me back up first. First, we need to affirm or reaffirm our identity as the children of the Most High Elohim and what that actually looks like. And let me back up again because I didn't introduce the title like I should have. Pardon me. Like I said, I woke up very sore. Back sore, leg sore, foot sore, calf sore. And see, what's going on is I thank the Most High. No complaining. I was able to get through it by His strength, His empowering me, so there is no complaints. We don't have nothing going on but the Ruach HaKodesh leading and guiding us into all truth. But I woke up ready to complain, or apt to complain. I was like, oh boy. And he hit me in the head right then. He said, a child of mine have absolutely no reason to complain. I said, oh boy. That stood me up straight on the side of my bed. Like I said, I was hurting and I was getting up in that hurting attitude and really feeling the hurting physically. But when he whispered in my ear, my Ruach stood up in me, so I physically stood up like, oh boy, it's daddy's time to teach. He said, a child of mine has absolutely no excuse to complain, whatsoever, whensoever, never. And I said, I shall not complain. Like that song goes, I've had some good days. I've had some hills to climb. I've had some weary days. And some sleepless nights. But when I look around and I think things over, all of my good days, they outweigh my bad days. So I won't complain. Oh boy, I won't plan on that one. Thank the Most High. Pardon me. And with that, the Most High, He took me into the reason we shouldn't complain. And that's Psalms 139, 13, and 14. And I do want to read the complete chapter, but we'll start with these right now. Well, let's say this. Read that entire chapter. It'll really bless you. It'll really give you an understanding of who you are as a child of the Most High. But it said, you made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit them together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. It is amazing to think about. Your workmanship is marvelous, and how well I know it. When y'all, and how well I know it. Thank the Most High. It says I was studying this script last night. The Most High began to show me something. It was like you made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit them together in my mother's womb. That text says you knit them together. And how many know what happens when you're knitting? I sat down and watched my grandmother, well, both my grandmothers and my mother do it, and my aunts. They sit there and do it by hand with a needle, just working them hands. And basically what that means is you're individually handmade. I'm talking about you. That's how he made you, by hand. You're not a cookie cutter creation. He didn't put you together by a machine, a manufacturing machine. No. He took his time with you, and it says his workmanship is complex. Well, it said you made me wonderfully complex, and your workmanship is marvelous, amazing to think about. Now, I'm lingering on that script because what he's actually telling us in that script, I think that's David, he's actually saying you are unique. Hallelujah. You are unique. And as a poem my wife wrote, you are individualized for a reason. So in actuality, that means you're set apart for a special use. See, no one makes an object, especially by hand, without it being made for a particular use. So we must remember that. And as I thought about that, I'm trying not to get too ahead of myself. I thought about that word unique. And as I was thinking about that word unique, it reminded me of one of my childhood friends named Tim. And like I said, this was my original thought before Abba switched the script on me. The original thought was called Uniquely Made. Just let me carry the speakers. The story of Tim's faith. And like I said, Tim is one of my childhood friends. And as I had said before, my brother and I were a part of a R&B group when we was growing up, and took off from church. We was raised singing up in the church, as most R&B artists are. Without going through all of that, we was in an R&B group, and it was called For Real. before the ladies group for real came out. And it consists of two brothers, my brother and myself, two sets of brothers, and two other brothers, Tim and Tom, the Williams brothers. And of course, me and my brother are the Holloway boys as we was raised. But, and before that, we had a member of culture. And I might as well go and tell this part of the story. So well, no, I don't have to tell that. But anyway, we used to practice in my place of living, which was actually an old car dealership. Pardon me. But the guy who ran it, he had a mechanic shop there. And he would just use the mechanic booths, or the mechanic booth, and the main office. And I pretty much had use of the rest of the complex. Matter of fact, I used to wash cars up there also. But I mentioned that part of the story because we used to hold practice there at the Honeycomb Mine. And there was this large, very large room that we used to practice our moves and practice our singing. And it sounded real good. It was so large it had an echo on it. So that's where we would practice. But one of my friends, Tim, he used to come and hang out with us. And he said, when y'all make it, just let me carry the speakers. When y'all make it, just let me carry the speakers. And see, this was Tim's faith in us as a group. And to be quite honest, this was before we made it to that level of our group. This was when we was riding around in our car singing right after we came up out of the church. I think we was singing back then that guy, R. Kelly, a few more well-known groups that was out at that time. I think this was before R. Kelly's time. But we were saying that, let's chill, let's settle down, and that's what I want to do. And see, that's what the Most High is telling us. Settle down, chill, relax. I've got it. Don't complain about it. And Tim said, just let me carry the speakers when y'all make it. And then this is what really made me think of that idea of unique. The Most High told me a few years later, after the group and all that was extinguished, the Most High told me, he said, you are unique. I said, okay, I'm unique. He said, no, really, you are unique. And I took it and ran with it. Stuck my chest out, I'm unique. So I told all my folks, call me unique. Yeah, I did. See, I'm like that sometimes today. I get so enthused about what the Most High tell me that I actually will walk where He tell me out, just out of blind faith. Now, in hindsight, I don't really believe that the Most High was telling me to change my name to unique. And I could be wrong. He may have wanted me to change it for a season to teach me this lesson. And the only person that honored my wishes was Tim. And we were in contact. I think we had moved to Columbia, Maryland by this time. We had gotten out of North Carolina. And you know that part of the testimony if you've been following me. I was the hand of the Most High that got me out of Carolina. And from running from parole or parole violation. But anyway, he called me one day and he said, "What's up, Unique?" Oh boy. And I was taken aback. I was like, "Tim?" He was like, "Yeah, what's up, Unique?" And I ain't gonna lie, I almost broke down on that phone. And to think about it today, I get emotional. Because it ain't nothing like somebody believing in you. And I meant to say it just like that. It ain't nothing like somebody believing in you. And mind you, I told all my family members, call me Unique. I'm unique from now on. They like, boy, quit playing. I ain't calling you no Unique in their actions. Now, they ain't say it. And that's just like here of late, the last probably 10 years, I told my family and other people, don't call me Bob and Bobby no more. I'm Robert. Call me Robert. And a lot of times what we're going to realize is what the text says about Yahushua. A prophet or a child of the Most High will not gain respect in his own city or in his own home. Those that's his family, those that have grown up around him and gotten a little too familiar with him, being who and what they've called him all his life. See, if we'll let them, the world will remind us that we're not unique. Or should I say they'll try to remind us that we're not unique like them. They're like, you ain't nothing unique about you, you just like me. We're all from this same old country farm, hometown, back in the backwoods. Ain't nothing unique about you. You the same as me, I'm the same as you. But no, those that are in Mashiach are a new creation. Old things are passed away, but behold, all things are new and unique. But I had to mention that about Tim, because that is such a powerful story, and it really influenced me and my faith at that time. Because at that time I was really seeking the Most High, prayer, fasting. And that's when he showed me a lot of major visions that I hold on until this day. But also, what I was thinking about is complaining and how to hold on to your shalom and peace. And as I aforementioned about the Ruach HaKodesh being our peace, our comforter, we need him before we can walk out this shalom and peace. Like I said, it's impossible to make it in these days without him. And as I said, Abba Yah whispered in my ear, no child of his has the right to complain about anything because of their identity. And see, that's the point I wanted to get to. However, once again, this is where the rubber meets the road. Identity without intimacy still equals depart from me. Even if just for a short season, the Most High can't have that doubt in his presence. And what I mean by depart from me is ultimately, or like I said, for a short season, when we're letting them folks persuade us that we're not unique. We're letting them folks persuade us that we're not who the Most High says we are, that identity. And see, that always should take us back to our foundation. Just like he said, no child of his has the right to complain. See, that foundation is built on the rock. Oh boy, Yahushua HaMashiach himself. The rock, the way, the truth, the light, the life, who shows us our identity when we come to him. Like he said, come to me all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. Pardon me. And as I was just saying, the number one sign of doubt is complaining, as our forefathers did very well. They spent a lot of times comparing themselves to their enemies and complaining about what they had and what they didn't. Complaining about what their enemies had and what they didn't. Just as the Most High was trying to show them, he's trying to get it through to our people also, that your uniqueness is the blessing. Let me say that again. Just as the Most High was trying to show them, our forefathers, he's trying to get through to our people that our uniqueness is the blessing. And as one of the fellas I like watching on YouTube, who is a cook, he said, let me not overtalk this. Let me get to cooking. And I'm going to say the same thing today. I don't want to overtalk this idea and thought. But the way we hold on to our peace and our shalom is by letting go the opinions and ideas of other folk. That's a good one. And then not complaining ourselves. See, what happens is when them other people in Hasatan and his imps start the chatter, as we spoke about Mark McCain yesterday in the vision, and we start listening to the chatter, it influences our attitude. Oh boy, what a mouthful. It influences our attitude. We start acting funny when the Most High tells us to come pray. We need to push that plate away. We need to fast today. We need to jump in that word. And I heard a young lady make a post that said, you need to force yourself to read the word. You need to force yourself to read the word. Because there are forces trying to make you not read the word. Because there are forces trying to make you not read the word. And that's a good idea. That was a good thought. And it sounded real good when I read it. But you have to take that a little bit more deeper. No, a whole lot more deeper. Because in all actuality, you need the Ruach HaKodesh, period. Your shalom, your peace, who leads you into all truth, which brings you shalom and peace. See, without him, what are you reading? Without him, where are you being led? And who are you being led by? Oh boy. Because we know, who else knows the word real good? Who brought the word to the word? Oh boy. Oh boy. He said, if you be who you say you is, do this. Cause it is written. Then it come back in. Well, it's also written. But the word didn't have no other choice but to be who he was. And say, get behind me, Hasatan. You shall not tempt the Most High Elohim. Basically saying, you see who I is? Don't tempt me. See, I had to get that around in my mind. See, the greater one within me is greater than the one that's in this world. And it's He that helps us to fight off or fight for us. Hallelujah. I like Him. And see, like I was saying in the last couple of recordings, this is that all grace that's abounding towards me after I stop complaining. After I stop saying I want to go to work, I want to do this and that, I need to do this, I need to do that. And He's like, oh, but who's supplying your needs? Who's the Alpha and Omega of your life, of your faith? Who's got you? Who's got this? Is it you or is it me? And I know you want to get out there and do things, get busy, and you know, like the text says, a man don't work, he don't eat, but you've been working all the time. You work for me. But see, it always goes back to not complaining. As a child of the Most High, Yahuwah, don't complain. Don't complain. Because it's all taken care of. But we were speaking on the Ruach HaKodesh. And like I was saying in my notes, we did a recording about how you can't make it without the Ruach HaKodesh in these days. How it's pretty much impossible. Because He's leading you into all truth. And see, once He's led you into that truth, it brings a certain air of Shalom, which you can actually put it on. You feel more confidence. See, every time you overcome, that faith is built to where it's like a locomotive, a train. Once it gets started, see, at first it's spinning them wheels. It's just spinning wheels. But as the wheels spinning, all of a sudden it'll catch and it'll start rolling. Next thing you know, that thing started hitting up at the 85 miles an hour, wide open. And the distractions come. Like, stop here, there's a stop here, there's a stop there. But the conductor be like, no, keep it to the flow. That's not our stop. Hallelujah. Like I said, I'm not going to overtalk this idea today, but the lasting thought I want to leave with us today is stay unique. Stay unique. And no matter what's going on, it's gonna be okay. Keep leaning on the Most High. He got you. Trust Him and trust His word. And more than anything else, trust His Rhema word that lines up with His written word. Because that's your Ruach. I don't want to say your. Which He's yours. That's His holy Ruach leading you into all truth. Leading and guiding you into all truth. And like I was saying before, the best way to hold your peace is first by accepting the Ruach HaKodesh. And the other text I want to speak on besides that Psalm of David was the one when Yahusha said, peace I leave you, my peace I give unto you. Not the peace that the world gives, give I you, but my peace. Let not your heart be troubled. You believe in Yah, believe also in me. goes on to say, in my house are many mansions. If it weren't so, I wouldn't have told you. In another text, it says, your Father knows you have these needs, as the Gentiles seek every day. Now, this is in my own words. But don't worry about them things. What you do is seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, which is his way of doing things. Pardon me. How many of us hate it when we wear them little ankle socks and it starts sliding down in your shoe? Oh boy, what a bad feeling. But they feel so good because it's like you're not constricted with the rest of the material on your ankle and your calf and your leg. And that's just me. I guess I'm just unique. But all praises to the Most High. I do thank him for another opportunity to meet with y'all here in the secret place. And to speak of distraction training. How to hold your peace, or shalom. Hallelujah. We're not jumping on that bike today for obvious reasons. I thank the Most High that it's a cold and rainy day, because I know me, even though I'm sore, I would have made the excuse to get on that bike. See, a lot of times you got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Basically saying know when to take a rest and not try to do too much. That's another thing my wife would tell me a lot of times. You doing too much. Oh boy. And she do hate when I tell her, girl, you doing too much. Slow it down. Boy, she be hot about that. I do hate seeing bobs in the lake. Because 9 times out of 10 they're attached to a hook. So if that hook has bait on it and a fish bites it, then that fish is gonna suffer. Because there's no one there to take the hook out of his mouth. Oh boy. What an idea. Because that's how distractions are. If there's no one to take that hook out of our mouths, the Ruach HaKodesh, who leads us in all truth, who would say, that's not what you want. Spit that out. Don't even speak that doubt. Don't even speak that lie. Spit it out. Now here's some real food. Chew on this. Oh boy, hallelujah. We can go on and on all day about the goodness of the Most High as we yield ourselves over to him and let him have his way. Like I said, his righteousness. Then all them things will be added unto us. We love y'all. Stay up and keep pushing forward in the right direction. Shalom. No matter what's going on, girl, it's gonna be okay. Family, I also want to mention my hat today. I wore this especially for the idea, but it slipped my mind until I just now took a picture. But it's one of them little what's his name? Little Reggie. What's his name? Ricky Smiley's little character, the retarded boy. Oh boy, I can't even laugh. I mean, say his name without laughing, or think about him without laughing. Little Reggie, the retarded boy, he say, "Leave me alone." And he's a little retarded kid, a character, but he's funny because of the truth. Everything he say is true, but he say it at the exact wrong time. But that's why I wore the hat today, because this is what we have to tell Hasatan. Leave me alone. Oh boy, leave me alone.